Hey, everybody. Alright, hold on. Get this. Because I want to. If I. Is that going to work? Is that. Oh, I actually like that better. Yeah. This is me and nothing else. Alright, anyway. Hello. Sorry for the coughing. It is a live stream now, so I can't pause it or edit it out, but, so yeah, these Lavalamp chats, basically you can put these on to just, like, when you're bored, if you want to fall asleep, or you want, like, something relaxing maybe, or just dull, or, like, time killer or whatever. But also, this is a live stream, so I can interact with fans live. Well, not even fan, like anybody. So, like, all you have to do is subscribe and click the bell icon, and you'll be notified right away as soon as I start live streaming. So that if you're already using your device, you can just tune right in and say something, So anyway, but see, this is a Lavalamp Chats video, which means I'm going to talk and probably upload this publicly anyway, regardless of whether there's people watching or not. Okay, so February. This one, this is one of the warmest Februaries so far that I've. And like in the next, there's a 15-day forecast on the Weather Channel app, so like the entire month of February is already visible, and it's really like one of the warmest that I've seen. Like January was nice, like December and January had a lot of cool fronts. February, last night was in the 40s, so that was good. I mean, like after 2 a.m. anyway. But so last night was good. Tonight it's 59 degrees right now, and it's like 1 a.m. 12:44 a.m. Which is really early for me, to be doing one of these, because I'm usually like falling asleep, on days. But but so yeah, yeah, I was gonna do this last night, but I had a full yeah, I had my schedule was booked last night. I just had a lot to do. Well, not even just a lot that I wanted to do, really. So, like I said, making a YouTube video isn't necessarily my first priority every day, but I do try. I have a lot of stuff in the queue, arguably more than ever. So I'm excited for that. A lot of new content coming your way in the coming days, weeks, months. Unfortunately, I did have to put my short film on hold because I just have too much else to do. I am, however, some of this might come full circle, because one of my projects that I'm working on in one of my classes in college, I'm trying to see if I can get permission from my professor to record it so that I can potentially upload it to YouTube, so that you'll get to see, because that's one of the things I've been up to recently, as far as why I haven't been able to record much. Um, and basically I'm just either live streaming or uploading things that I've recorded, weeks, months ago. But yeah, that's basically like, it's a project I'm putting my all into, and it will culminate sometime next week, yeah, next week. And so, I'm just trying to see if I can get permission to get that on here, and that would really be something then, because then you'd get to see for yourself, like, just a sample, because I don't care, I don't mind having some stuff on here, just as long as it's just me, just as long as it's not like, my family or anything, because I know how I feel about being on camera. I'm really the only one in my family that's not camera shy, or like, that's comfortable with this anyway. That's why, like, any questions, about like my family or anything like that, is like, you know what? I'm not gonna answer any of that because like I'm not them. I don't want to. It just doesn't feel right, to talk about them. It's like I'll talk about me. I'll talk about my stuff and my channel and like I'll talk about my music and like and stuff and whatever. But yeah, just keep it to me. Anyway, these things are always unscripted, so that's why it can be a little awkward. There can be some pauses sometimes, because I never even, like, unlike some of my videos, like ASMR videos, for example, where I have, like, basically bullet points, in my mind of, like, okay, so make sure to do this and this at some point, and the rest. Like, I don't even have that for Lavalamp chats. I literally just turn the camera on. There's no, like, I don't even think of general topics to discuss at all. So, I just completely wing it. So yeah, let's see. Let me start talking about some stuff. Well, since there's nobody here live to tell me what to talk about, won't give any suggestions or anything. Um, let's see. Let's talk about my day. What did I do today? Well, I woke up about 2:30 p.m. Yes, I know. Um, spent a breakfast hour with my mother. It was fun. Got to talk and stuff. Got to eat. Nice meal. 2:30 to 3:30. Worked on my project that I'm talking about for like 2 hours, 3:30 to 5:30. Then I gotta get going to class. I had class 6:30 to 9. Um, then went out. Don't ask me where or with who. It's none of your concern. Um, Came back about 11. Um, and then, yeah, I mean, I was just kind of relaxing, watching some YouTube. And now I'm doing this at 12:30 and 12:45. So that's my day. I wonder if you can hear that. Anyway, I'm feeling like in a creative mood today, which is good because I used to be like that every day. Um, but recently I just like the last maybe 2 months or so, I just haven't been like feeling very creative, I've just kind of been like going through the motions every day, and basically just like, yeah, I've been unmotivated. But every once in a while, like maybe one day per week or so, I'll just get this sudden burst of like energetic creativity and just like want to do something. So that's how I feel right now. And it's a shame because, everybody's asleep that I know. Like there's nobody like in my contacts that I can call up and just be like, hey, let's go somewhere, let's do something. So, yeah, basically, I mean, yeah, there is a lot I can do by myself. Songwriting, of course, practicing, musically, um, all that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm just trying to think of creative things, because, yeah, I could just, like, play video games or watch TV or, YouTube videos or something. I mean, I could make the YouTube videos. Those are kind of creative, but those require a lot of things like any particular video you can think of. There's so many specific circumstances that have to be met in order for that to be, I can't just make whatever I feel like. Well, sometimes I can, but Um, but yeah, so I don't know, man. I'm a real mix. I always say, I'm not sure if I said this before on the channel, but I consider myself 50% perfectionist and 50% slacker. So I mean, I think that's a very accurate way to describe me. You know, some days I want to do anything and everything that there is to do and just have like unrealistic goals and just keep going, 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 going. Some days I want to do absolutely nothing and just, so yeah, I don't know. It's just always that 50-50 split. I think that's kind of evident, based on my videos, even, based on my YouTube live. I think you could tell, like, there's a big part of me that's this perfectionist, and then this is a big part of me that's just a slacker, so I'm grateful for them both, though. It's like I need both of those to survive. They balance each other and keep them in check, and so keeps everything at 100% normal. So yeah, I didn't know what kind of video to make tonight because I'm just not like, I don't know, I'm not in the mood for making ASMR or Joshua's trip or you know anything like that. I the closest things I could do is maybe Minecraft or maybe Let's Read Lovecraft potentially. I gotta bring that back at some point. Um, I haven't done one of those since Halloween, so it's really about time. There's so many of those. So maybe I still will after I'm done with this. I don't know. But I just wanted to do this because, oh, like I was saying about the weather, there's not many cool nights. I mean, like it's 59 right now. Last night would have been perfect because it was in the 40s. But like I said, I had a full like, I had other stuff I wanted to do that could basically only be last night. So, um, so I just want to make sure I got one of these in the month of February. Because I want to try to get at least one of these per month. Every month from October to April, or it's usually the months of when there's cool fronts. So yeah, unfortunately, this will probably be on like a 6 month hiatus for the whole summer. April to October, because yeah, I think it just it's part of the aesthetic that it's got to be cool enough outside to have the windows open and have this lava lamp on, and it just wouldn't be the same without it. So. And that's why, like, I was gonna go in the screen room to make this, and so I figured, like, now I'll try to, get the Wi-Fi working. I'll try to make it work in here because this is where the lava lamp is. Like, this is a tradition, So yeah, kind of remind myself of James Rolfe a little bit. It's like you have all these characters that are just like this, like wild, crazy, energetic, stuff, and then you just like see like a behind the scenes or an interview, with him. He's just like the most like bland, boring person. I don't know. My thoughts certainly aren't bland, but I mean, I call myself Mr. Everything Man because I'm kind of a little bit of everything. I mean, I don't know. There's really like you never quite know what you're gonna get with me. That's all. I gotta sit up straight. I'm trying to fix my posture here. But yeah, so yeah. Sorry, I just don't have much to say. Yeah, and why are you doing this, right? Well, I mean, okay, so I mean, we're halfway through February. That's something. I guess that sounds about right. Yeah, I would bomb at stand-up comedy. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess it depends how much time I had to prepare. Because if I have like a few weeks to write a script, I might be able to come up with something. I don't know about like an hour worth of material, but maybe 5 or 10 minutes. I could do like a skit maybe. I mean, I do like to think I do comedy on this channel, improv comedy too. So. I guess I could do it. I think comedy's, an important genre. Like the world needs laughter. Anyway, yeah, today's been one of my better days as far as like how I'm feeling. It's been one of my better days recently, like of the month of February probably. Yeah, I feel good today. That's good. I mean, more like mentally than physically, because physically, I mean, I don't really get sick very often. Maybe like once every 2 years, really. So, you know, like I said, I used to get headaches a lot more often, but I don't. The only times I get headaches now really is when I have a lot of sugar in a day, which, first of all, I'm just going to go on record here and say, sugar is like, there is nothing redeeming about sugar. Stay away from it if you possibly can. I know it's so hard because it's everywhere, but it's nothing. It's like all the bad things about hard drugs, but just like it doesn't even like get you high or anything. Like it's not worth it. It's just stupid. You know, like sugar is even stupider than nicotine, and that's really saying something. I may have offended a lot of people there, but hey, like I said, I personal opinions here. You could do whatever you want. You know, I mean, I have a lot of friends who smoke cigarettes. Like that's not it's not a big enough deal to me to make me to be a deciding factor if you can be friends with me or not. So I really don't care. It's just a personal choice. But but anyway, so like I was saying, yeah. So I only get headaches when I have sugar, really. So I mean, physically, no complaints really. I'm in pretty good health. I'm happy with my health. Physically, so that's good. I mean, so yeah, it's basically just mentally. Then it's all in my mind. The rest of the stuff. So it's like I have my ups and downs, but I'm all right. Yeah, like trust me, I know people who are just really bad. It's mentally like either with like depression or anxiety or like paranoia or I mean that kind of goes hand to hand with anxiety, but like or like, ADHD or like OCD or PTSD or something. Like I know people with all of those. It's like, yeah, I none of those fit me, so that's good. But but yeah, so I mean, I tend to kind of live inside my mind a lot. I find my being a lot quieter. You know, my viewers might be able to attest. Like, if you've ever, if you've known me for a while, I used to talk a lot. Maybe even too much, for my own good, in public, and so I don't really talk much. Yeah, I mean, or rather, I don't strike up many conversations anymore. I'll carry on a conversation just fine, but I don't know. I just don't find myself, I don't know. I guess I'm more like introverted now. Now that I think about it, though, I've never really been an extrovert. I just used to be really, really, really weird. So believe it or not, I actually have mellowed out in recent years. I've become more mild, um, as far as like outgoingness. As far as like I mean, my mind's still a mess. It's still swarming with thoughts and everything. Um, I mean, in my student introduction, at the beginning of the semester, I put my goal. They have this whole sheet that you fill out, and one of the questions was, "What are your plans for the future?" And I just put world domination. So I guess yeah, that's new. Who knows? It very well could be my plans. I'm not telling you. You don't know what organizations I have ties to. Bad sense to take a pause after. Anyway, yeah, I wish I had more to say. We're only 20 minutes in, so Well, yeah. I mean, I've been listening to a lot of music recently. That's something I've been doing. Make no mistake. I haven't been bored. That's one thing you have to understand is because whenever I have nothing to do, I'll find something to do. I was bored like pretty much the whole year of 2017. And so, I basically made a pact then, like, I'm never going to be bored again if I can help it. And so the year of 2018, I was a little bit, but that's only for poor time management reasons. But I got better as the year went on. And so 2019 so far, I haven't been bored at all. And I'm not now, because even if I'm not doing anything externally, I'm always doing something in my mind, and I try to keep productive. So, oh, I have something I want to talk about. My local county fair is coming up in like a week and a half, and as some of you already know, I take my fairs very very seriously. So this particular one happens to have what they call a mega pass, which is basically it's 10 days long. So basically it's admission and unlimited ride for all 10 days of the fair for $50 and 15 and wristbands are 35. So basically that's, 1 day's price for all 10 days. So yeah, you better believe I got that, and you better believe I'm going open to close all 10 days because I'm crazy. That's a tradition I've had, going open to close all 10 days. This would be the fourth year in a row. Wait, fifth year in a row that I've done that, and my eighth year in a row that I've been there. So, yeah, it's a fun tradition to me. It's a county fair, it's not much, but it's very nostalgic for me. It has a lot of memories associated with it. So it's very meaningful to me. I always have a blast there. It's just the aesthetic of like fairs and places like that in general. It's like everybody's there to have fun. It's a common interest. It's a discourse community with other people. It's a common interest. You're all fair goers, and you're all at the same place at the same time, enjoying the same experience, you know. And it's just like it just emanates positive energy, like it's the best of everybody. So I mean, I'm a firm believer in positive energy and negative energy. So it's like as long as you keep your environment as positive as possible, you're all set. So I think going to the fair is a wise decision because I'm always so happy there. So who knows? Maybe that's the final thing I need to just be. I'm ready to like do stuff again. Ready for some world domination. But anyway, oh, so my last live stream was Disney World. Yes, that was completely unexpected. I was this past Monday. Monday, February. What would that be? The 11th? Yeah, I got Monday, February 11th. Patty King and I just we had nothing to do that day. And so everybody was gone. We had the house to ourselves, and we were going to for the whole day. And it was like maybe 2 o'clock, and I got up, I came downstairs, and he was down there like practicing his violin, or something. And so I was just like, hey, what are you doing today? Nothing much. And so 5 minutes later, it's like, hey, you want to go to Disney World? He's like, yeah, sure. Let's get some fast passes. I mean, we never ended up actually getting them, but because it's so late in the day. But so we just left at like 2:30, and we we launched One Berry Too Far podcast. We started off as audio only, and then we turned it to video, so you can see the road while we're recording it. And basically, like, you know, like, we just made it the thing now. Like, why don't, like, every time that we drive somewhere more than like a half hour away, why don't we just like make it into a podcast episode, since we, like, we've got nothing better to do. While we're just sitting in a car, we can't do anything else anyway. So I decided, yeah, sure, because he was talking about, like, I was like, I want to make a podcast with him, and he was like, well, I just don't have time. I'm like, okay, well, what about when we're driving? So yeah, we got a lot of footage. We got like 4 episodes because we broke it out. It's a 2-hour drive, so we broke it up into two 1-hour episodes each way. So we got 4 episodes. So I'm really excited about that. Before I upload them, I just have like some ideas that I'm tinkering with about, like, the podcast and like how it works. As far as uploading it. So that's gonna be fun. Um, what else? Well, just a lot of music stuff, really. When I started this channel, I had 157 original songs. I now have 212, so that's something. Oh, so I guess yesterday was the 9-month anniversary of this channel. Wow. Yeah, it feels like a long time ago. To be honest, I can't say like, wow, 9 months already. No, it feels like at least 9 months, I would say. That was a long time ago. I mean, I'm just trying to think, like, how many phases in my life, like, every, like, uh, I don't know, there's just, like, so many different, like, phases in my life, and, like, May 13th, 2018 was so many ago. It's like, oh, wow. That was a while ago. That was all the way back. So, and that's not even, like, that far. Because I remember, 2017, 2016, 2015, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, so all the way back. So, you know, like, 9 months really isn't that much um, in regards to my lifetime. So, I don't want to give away exact percentages because I'll give away my age, but it's like, oh, sorry, I thought I heard a familiar car. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, it's not even that long ago. Like, I remember things from, like, oh man, I remember being like 9 years old, and having, like, I mean, I remember all the way back to three, but I just mean, like, I remember when I was 9 years old, and then I look back at some of my earlier videos, and I'm like, wow, it's like the same exact thing that 9-year-old me would have made, or 10-year-old, or 11. So I was like, wow, like, in some ways I'm still the same. It's like there's a book somewhere. I don't remember what it is, but I just remember reading it for like an English class or something one time, where it's like, every year you're just a compilation of all the years you've lived, throughout your life, and it never dies, it never goes away. You're just always adding more. You're adding depth to your character, basically, and I couldn't agree more. That's exactly how I feel. It's like, at the core, I'm the same as I was when I was born, as when I was an infant. I've just experience, experience through life has just given me more. It's a lot of opportunities for growth. So it's basically just a compilation, of my 0-year-old self, 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old, like, every year. So, like, I think of how far I've come, like, even in the last 9 months. I'm just gonna say that because that's how long it was since I started this channel, so it's a relevant, number. I'm just thinking like, wow, that's a lot. Like that's a long way. That's a lot of stuff that happened in the last 9 months. Like, where am I gonna be 9 months from now? You know, I know a lot of stuff. I know I'm entering a crossroads that's like an 8-way intersection, basically. And I mapped out all the probabilities of what could happen, and like in like I don't know 6 or 8 more weeks, I'll have to make several. Let's see, three. I'll have to make three very crucial decisions, and you only get to decide once. And whenever you decide, like that's it. Your life, like you've chosen your options. Like those multiple choice movies. Like the interactive, like like Bandersnatch or whatever it's called. Like you choose what happens, and then you choose like, okay, well, here's advances the plot. So basically that's what I'm coming up on this spring. So you know um, a lot of very important dates coming up in 2019. So that's why I said, like, I've pretty much known, I was able to predict for the past few years that 2019 was going to be the transition year. It was going to be the bridge year. That'll really like get me started with like you know the the real world, basically. So it's like, this is it. Like, so I'm just enjoying the next like 2 months maybe while I can, and then after that, who knows? Who knows what'll happen? It's just based on my decisions, and my decisions will be based on what happens from now till then, I guess. Because I still don't know, honestly. I have ideas for my future. See, the thing is, I know what I want, but I don't quite know how to get there. So the beginning is all for me with anything. It's getting started. Once I'm started, I can finish, no problem. I can get it done. I just need a first push. I need convincing to make a certain decision, and then I can go with it. You know. But I mean, honestly, I'm so grateful that I'm artistic. You know, um, I don't want to get too much into like my family background or like my environment or anything, but let me just, I can do it. Anybody can. And I really mean that. Like I'm the most unlikely candidate to be successful, with especially with like with art. But I mean, nothing's set in stone yet. But I do have a few tricks up my sleeve. So I think a few years from now, maybe, okay, within the next decade for sure. I think that I will be, hopefully, a household name, at least in like my home region. You know, hopefully, we'll see. I mean, even if I'm not famous till after I die, like at least I will have done something significant, as my contribution, to this planet. Like, you know, everybody's got something to bring to the table. You know. Was that in? Where did I put that? It's not my. Oh yeah, because I was gonna say, is that on my about me page on YouTube? And I'm like, no, I don't think that's it. It was in my original student introduction from Student Success, my very first ever course in my first semester of college. Yeah, they had me write a student introduction. They said it has to be 3 to 5 paragraphs long. I just went into this whole like philosophical rant and everything. Looking back on it now, I think it was very well worded. It was very well thought out. I'm not sure if I'd say exactly the same things now. I mean, I was more energetic back then. I was more like just ready for the world and stuff. And yeah, I was just more like happy-go-lucky and stuff. So I didn't really care. Probably it was like, yeah, and this is what I think about the world, and I was just really like ramped up and ready to go. So now I'm just kind of I'm still an optimist. I'm still a little naive in some regards, but I'm cautiously optimistic now. I don't act without thinking for the most part. I mean, I'm still young and stupid, but you know, not as much. But hey, I'm the oldest now that I've ever been all my life, and I'm the youngest now that I'm ever gonna be for the rest of my life. So pretty trippy thoughts, eh? Yeah, things have been pretty trippy recently. In fact, it's never been trippier. Yeah, that's for a certain someone who may or may not be watching. A lot of inside jokes that like straight faced humor. Yeah, that's one of them. It's never been trippier. That's I'm not gonna give away exactly the detail. All I'll tell you is it's from a voicemail. A voicemail that a friend of mine got um, from someone back home. Um, left him a voicemail, and he was just like, "This is really high." It's just, it was like, I think. It was 420. That's what it was. This is 420 voicemail. He's just like, he went on for like 3 minutes about what he's been up to that day and stuff, and so he just ends it. His closing sentences. It's never been trippier. Oh, like suffice to say, it's never been trippier or something like that. Like you just laugh for so long because it's so funny. But so yeah, that's been like a catchphrase ever since. That was, I think, this like 10 months ago, like April 2018. Anyway, so what else? We're at third. Okay, a little bit more. Let's see, any notifications? Nope. All right. 119. Yeah, I've been listening to a lot of music recently. I've been discovering a lot of new things. We upgraded our cable package recently, so now we get all these music channels that's like 24/7 uninterrupted music, and like most of it's crap, but there's some channels that says like there's like 18 of those channels, and like, which one of these is your type of music, and so like, yeah, on a few of them, there is some good stuff every once in a while, and so, that and a few other things that I probably shouldn't say, but anyway, like I said in the first ever Lavalamp Chats episode, like I wish you were here, right now. Like I wish I could just press a button and have like one of my viewers be here, or just anybody really. It's like I have all these ideas and everything, but there's no one to test them out on. You know, I was just like, everybody's got their own stuff going on, so. I mean, it's not anyone else's fault. I'm a loner, really. I mean, I've been all my life, but um, like I said, I went through like a really outgoing phase, like maybe like 4 years ago to 1 year ago. Well, I guess 3 years is a long time to be a phase, but whatever. Um, well, a little less, maybe like 9 months ago, or around the time I started this channel. But yeah, I was like just coming off that. But anyway, I have to go to space now. Something made it last. But anyway, no, it has never been trippier. I just in my project I'm working on, the same one I was talking about earlier. It's like it's so much fun. Try to have fun that with my work. That I try to I try to make like the most mundane, like soulless task as fun as possible. That's one that's stuck with me. That's been there, and I think is actually stronger than ever. It's like my homework, for example, my assignments. It's like you know, it is simple. It's like it'll just be, and I remember even I was like this through K through 12. I was always like this, but it's like just the simplest instructions. I'll find a way to make it complicated. Like I'm just so obsessed with going above and beyond. Like I don't just do the minimum for the assignment. Like, all right, let me give you an example. Hmm. There was an assignment I had a little while back about oh well, I'm gonna use the famous example from my K through 12 years. One of my online assignments was describe a time in your life that you had to make a difficult decision, and describe the decision and the thought process and how it turned out. Like what the resolution was. And so me being me and wanting to make it something funny and comical instead of something serious, I I I used an example as the time I made up a story. It didn't actually happen, but I made up a story about a pastry being right in front of me and someone setting it there and be like, I'll be right back for this. Could you watch this while I'm gone? And so then like, those 30 seconds felt like hours. And I heard and it's just like, I went on for like, I think the minimum length was like 50 words, but it ended up being like 400 because I just like went on and on, about the gradual mental deterioration, of like, my mind and stuff. The voices kept getting louder. Eat it. They said you may not eat anything again. So whatever. It was just like, then like, so the resolution was I ended up eating it in a moment of weakness, and I said, I've forever regretted it, and it eats away at my soul to remember this. Every day I have to live with the memory of doing that. And I ended it with, R.I.P. pastry, R.I.P. dot 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 my sanity. That was the end of it. And so it was just, my teacher loved it. She writes back and just like, wow, that was the that was the most passionate essay I've gotten in a while. Like, I got like 110% on it or something. But so yeah, that's just one example. Um, Another one is I'll give you a more recent one from college. In one of my history classes, um, one of the assignments was to listen to a podcast episode and then answer a few questions about it. And so it was a podcast episode about one of the presidents, you know. And so one of the questions was, based on the information that you've heard from this podcast episode, what single question would you ask, this president if they were alive? And I made it like and it says like make sure to use specific references to the podcast. So I started off with just like a very minor, like little insignificant, like nod to the podcast by being like, well, since he was obviously a whatever, like I made the thing like do you believe that like and then I just went off like, do you believe that water has a soul and that all elements of the periodic table have aligned with the whatever? And I was also taking a science course that same semester, so I just used a bunch of like scientific jargon in there, like just a bunch of like words like the quantum temporal field of whatever is sustained, and like I just went on and that when we die, we angry will head the center of the universe where the juice of our whatever, and like I just like I went on that ended up being like 700 words, just one thing, that one question. So the entire word count for the whole assignment was met just from that one question. Um, so yeah, just stuff like that. Anyway, sounds like people are home now, so I gotta get going because they may barge into this room. So 45 minutes is not bad. Thanks for listening. See you on the flippity flop.